True story time. I was about 4 or 5 years old when my parents separated, a difficult time for any child. My mom moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment, and even though I had my own room, I often preferred to sleep in her bed when I was with her. Our bedrooms were at the end of a hallway directly across from each other, creating a cozy yet slightly eerie atmosphere, especially at night. The apartment was on the first floor, and I vividly remember it being a hot summer night. My mom had left the window open in her room, right behind the bed, allowing a gentle breeze to flow through. One night I woke up, feeling restless. The room was dimly lit by the moonlight filtering through the window. As I sat up in bed, I noticed something unusual. Our cat, a fluffy little thing we named Whiskers, was sitting in the doorway of my mom's room. This struck me as odd because Whiskers usually snuggled up next to us at night. I watched him for a moment, puzzled by his behavior. After a few seconds, he walked into my bedroom and meowed softly, as if to check on me. Instinctively, I turned to my mom, wanting to wake her up. It took just 3 or 4 seconds for her to stir from her sleep. As she blinked in the dark and asked me what was wrong, we both glanced back toward the doorframe. My heart dropped. There, in the doorway, stood a mantle ant, shadowy, making his way out of my bedroom. I still can't explain how my mother reacted so swiftly. Without a second thought, she scooped me up and, in a burst of adrenaline, literally threw me out of the screen window. Thankfully, we were on the first floor, so it was only about a 3-foot drop to the ground. I landed safely in the grass below, my heart racing with confusion and fear. My mom followed right after me, and we both landed in a heap, adrenaline coursing through our veins. Once outside, we began screaming for help, panic and urgency in our voices. Neighbors heard us and quickly came to our aid. Someone called 911, and soon the sound of sirens pierced the night air. The police arrived and conducted a thorough search of our apartment. They found no signs of forced entry, which puzzled everyone. They noted that our front door was unlocked, leading them to believe the intruder had exited that way. My mom was adamant that she had locked the door that night, both with the deadbolt and the chain lock. She was always meticulous about safety, especially after the separation, so this was alarming. After the police left, my mom tried to calm me down, but the fear lingered in the air. About a week later, while cleaning the kitchen, my mom opened up the water heater closet. To her shock, she found a small notebook tucked away in the corner. As she flipped through the pages, her heart sank. The notebook was filled with names and strange drawings. Some looked like they were meant to be people, while others appeared to be odd shapes and symbols. Alongside the notebook, she discovered a pair of gloves and some crumpled gum wrappers. Alarmed, she called the police again. They returned to investigate, but once again they could only speculate. It seemed clear that the man had been inside our home, hiding until we were asleep. The thought sent chills down my spine. Who was he? What did he want? In the days that followed, my mom and I were on high alert. She made sure all the windows were locked, and the door was secured with both the deadbolt and the chain. Every little sound at night made us jump, and we kept a flashlight by the bed. I remember feeling a mix of fear and curiosity, trying to comprehend what had happened. As the summer days turned into weeks, The unsettling experience lingered in my mind. I began having nightmares about the man, waking up in a cold sweat. My mom would hold me tightly, whispering reassuring words that I was safe now. But no matter how many times she said it, I could not shake the feeling of vulnerability. We eventually learned to cope with the situation. My mom started leaving a night light on in the hallway, a comforting glow that helped dispel the shadows. I found solace in our cat, Whiskers, who seemed to sense my anxiety. He would curl up next to me, purring softly, reminding me that I wasn't alone. Weeks turned into months, and as autumn approached, the nights became cooler. Life began to feel a bit more normal, but the memory of that night stayed with us. My mom continued to check the locks and kept a watchful eye on the apartment. The notebook remained a mystery, and she kept it hidden away, refusing to share its contents with me. One day, while I was playing with friends outside, I overheard a conversation between my mom and a neighbor. She mentioned how unsettling it was to think someone had been in our home watching us. A fear in her voice made my heart ache. I realized that the experience had affected her just as much, if not more, than it had affected me. As the months passed, we started to rebuild our sense of safety. My mom began taking self-defense classes and encouraged me to learn about safety, too. We talked about emergency plans and what to do in case of trouble. These discussions helped me feel more empowered, and I could sense my mom gaining strength as well. Despite the fear, something good emerged from that night. We grew closer, relying on each other for support. My mom became more open about her feelings, and I learned that it was okay to express my fears. We found comfort in our shared experiences, and in time the nightmares faded. Reflecting on that summer night, I learned a valuable lesson about resilience. Even in the face of fear and uncertainty, we can find strength in ourselves and in those we love. That experience, while terrifying, shaped my understanding of safety, trust, and the importance of being vigilant. Years later, I still remember that night vividly. It's a part of my childhood that I carry with me, a reminder of how quickly things can change and how, even in darkness, there is a way to find light. And even though the memories might linger, I now view them as a testament to our strength and the bond that grew even stronger in the face of fear.